Hands up if you've ever said to this to your kids, go and clean your room, or I wish you would help more around the house. Don't worry, we're going to change all that today. Diane in Denmark here, rah rah rah, and welcome back to this series where I am bringing you real life cases from my coaching clients. And today we are talking about getting your kids on board with helping, finding some good routines for them, and let's dive straight into it. Coaching client today, well, I've changed her name, we'll call her Gabriella. Gabriella is in Italy, in Milan, and she has 3 children, 2 teenagers and 1 a bit younger. And Gabriella's problem is quite a classic one that comes up often in my coaching sessions. On the one hand, Gabriella wanted the kids to be more involved at home, wanted them to do more work around the house, wanted them to be more independent, doing their own things. And on the other hand, the communication wasn't working. So what was happening was she was doing that classic thing that we've all done, saying, go and clean your room, or give me some help here. And the kids, they did actually want to help out, but the communication wasn't working. And what happened was that Gabriella thought, that this isn't working. She would go in and do it herself, did the martyr thing, and then the kids end up feeling, oh, mum's in a bad mood, and even if she asks us to do it, she just does it herself anyway. So if this sounds familiar to you, let's get into about how we can change that. And I am quite a unique coach. When you book a session with me, it's a 45-minute session, and it's a one-off session, and I have a gift for identifying problem areas. I look at your situation with fresh eyes, and at the end of the session, at the end of the 45 minutes, you've got a list of practical things that you can put into place. I can't cover everything that we do in the 45 minutes, but this gives you a kind of flavour of things that you can do with your own kids. So why is this happening in the first place? It's a lack of communication, and we are not being detailed enough, so the kids don't really know what's expected of them. Now, I'll give you a couple of ideas. If you say to your child, go and clean your room, that's just a kind of abstract idea that the child doesn't know what you expect from them. What you can do is turn that around and say, okay, I want you to go to your room and spend 5 minutes on dusting off the flat surfaces. I want you to spend 5 minutes vacuuming your bedroom. If you're having a problem with laundry, you maybe need to be very detailed and say to the kids, if you have anything that needs washed, it needs to go into the laundry basket when you go to bed at night, because I do the laundry first thing in the morning. And I talk about this a lot in my videos about having a time, a date and a place for things, because when we have the time, the date and the place, it's really easy because we know what we're supposed to be doing. And it's all about having structure with a bit of flexibility. You would never say to a child, what do you want for dinner? What do you want for tea? Because they'll come up with something that you're actually not prepared to offer them, or that you don't have in the house. You will say, what do you want for dinner? Do you want pizza or do you want pasta? What are you having on your sandwich for lunch? Are you having peanut butter and jelly, or are you having liver patty, leverpostej as we call it here in Denmark? So you're giving them some choice, but it's a limited choice. Kids' outfits. Are you going to wear these shoes today, or are you going to wear these shoes? We don't give them all the choices. Once we have in place when we want them to do things, whether that's doing their little daily routines, or doing some chores, helping out with the garden, or helping out with the cleaning, how are we going to motivate them to actually get it done? Well, a few ways that we can do that. Timers, of course, are fantastic, and there's all different timers you can get. You can get ones which are very visual, so they see the time counting down. As you know, I use timers for everything. Let me just switch this one off because it really makes a loud noise. And it goes on forever. This is a wind-up one, so you don't need batteries for it. If your kids don't enjoy using a timer, you can use music, you can use a song. The timer or the song helps us in a couple of ways. It helps us to get started on the task at hand. It keeps us focused while things are counting down. And also, we know that at the end of the time, at the end of the couple of songs, or the end of 15 minutes, we are able to move on to another task or go and take a break. So the timer is fantastic for study time. You could say, okay, you're going to work for 30 minutes on your school project, and then we set the timer again for 15 minutes and you go out to play. Then you come back and then you can do another 30 minutes. You have to build up some trust with your kids, because if you say, okay, we're going to clean your room today or declutter your room, you have to say to them in advance, okay, I just want you to work with me for 15 minutes or 30 minutes. And you don't keep on resetting that timer, because then they're not going to trust you. But when they get the feeling for this, it's okay, I only have to work with mum for 30 minutes and then I can get on and do something else. It's a fantastic tool, the timer. And you can use that idea of the timer in lots of different ways. You can say, okay, we're going to be leaving the house at the end of this song, or when you're at the playground, okay, you've got 3 more goes on the slide before we leave to go home. We're going to put on one good song that the kids really like and say, okay, we need to pick up and put away, a poopa, pick up and put away. We need to pick up all the toys and put them away before the song finishes. So there's lots of creative ways that you can use this countdown of time. And for the kids' daily routines, that can be things like making their packed lunch, getting dressed in the morning, brushing your teeth. There are lots of different things that you can use for it depending on how old they are. Maybe it is an app, maybe it is a chart, maybe it's a bingo card that they can cross off. And for really small kids, you could cut out pictures and put those on a piece of card with somebody, brushing their teeth, or a pair of pajamas, just to show them what is expected of them. And again, they can be working through their list with songs. If you've got a child who kind of takes a lot of time to get moving, it can be, okay, this song, you are getting your pajamas on and we're picking up everything in your room and putting away. When the next song comes on, oh, we're supposed to be in the bathroom, washing our hands and face, brushing our teeth. And when the next song comes in, oh, you're getting into bed, you're maybe taking your favourite book with you or your favourite toy. So there are lots of little ways that we can kind of nudge our kids and keep them on track. And for cleaning around the house, I've got my little chart for the weekly upkeep clean. And I've got one for kids, and just as simple as 5 minutes doing each of these things on the list. That's how they can clean their room. They know what's expected. They can cross them off. With these kind of things, you can put it into a plastic pocket, use a wipe-off marker and just cross them off as they go, and then they can wipe it clean and they're ready for the next time. Back to Gabriella and her family. Of course, this is going to take a bit of adjustment, because if you've been kind of shouting at the kids and nagging at them, we've got to turn that around. Remember, you're the first domino. You set the tone for your house. So you've really got to take a deep breath, be very neutral about things. And you really want to encourage them. Thank them for every little single thing that they do around the house. And you can absolutely give them rewards. Maybe they, once they've cleaned their room, on a Saturday morning, they get to choose a movie for movie night or which board game you're going to play. Teenagers work really well with money, with my cash money. It requires you as the parent or the carer of the child to be consistent with this. And it's not going to change overnight, but just reminding them all the time, oh, your room is to be cleaned by Saturday morning or Thursday afternoon. Just reminding them, being consistent with things, because it's the consistency, it's the follow through, which is difficult for many of us. And not to start going in there and say, oh, well, it's not done yet. And you just kind of take over. Take a step back, just give them a little bit of grace period, and just keep encouraging them. And I have lots of videos on what to put in your morning routine, what to put in your evening routine. And that works for whether you are a child or whether you are a grown-up. I'll put my Flylady refresher course playlist up there and down below. And last but not least, one of the easiest ways to get your kids involved is to set a good example yourself. I did my morning routine this morning before I started work. I'm about to get back to work. And this evening I will be doing my weekly upkeep clean. And if you have a good tip to share with the rest of us, maybe you're a grandparent, maybe you've got some really good techniques, leave a comment down below. And all I've got left to say is live long and prosper. May the Danish Hygge and timer Hygge be with you, and I'll see you on the other side with a rap, rap, rap. Okay, bye for now.